Pendanaan untuk membanteras perubahan iklim kekal jadi tumpuan utama di COP29 di Baku, Azerbaijan. Namun untuk melaksanakan pendanaan yang jitu khususnya melibatkan institusi kewangan hal risiko perubahan iklim harus difahami terlebih dahulu. Editor Kanan Astro Awani di Dzulfitri Yusof ada perinciannya bersama Pengarah Urusan BCG Dzulfitri.
Untuk Niaga Awani, pada pagi ini saya ingin kongsikan mengenai risiko perubahan iklim khususnya di rantau Asia Tenggara. COP29 yang berlangsung di Baku, Azerbaijan ini sudah adalah COP yang berkaitan dengan pembiayaan dana iklim, pembiayaan dana untuk projek-projek daya tahan perubahan iklim. Tetapi dalam masa yang sama, untuk sesebuah institusi dan juga pembiayaan keuangan itu dapat dilangsungkan atau disalurkan kepada projek-projek yang daya tahan iklim, kita perlu mengenal pasti bagaimana risiko dan juga apa yang berlaku di sekeliling rantau ini, di rantau Asia Tenggara khususnya. Saya bersama dengan Dzulfitri, merupakan pengarah urusan bagi BCG. Beliau bercerita bagaimanakah risiko perubahan iklim di Asia Tenggara dan juga bagaimana negara-negara dalam ASEAN khususnya saling bergantung antara satu sama lain, dan ini merentasi batas geografi dan juga batas sempadan. Kita dengarkan sikit temu bual saya bersama dengan beliau.
Southeast Asia, as you know, is deeply exposed to climate impacts, from too much water, too little water, extreme heat, in our urban environment. So multiple hazards that we face as a region. Now, Southeast Asia is also a trading region, so it's highly interconnected. We have a lot of intra-ASEAN trade, as we do with outside of ASEAN. So we're highly dependent on the products that flow through our food systems. So there's a lot of interdependency. Now, imagine, if you have storms and drought, as an example, they disrupt supply chains. You have droughts that impact the food system. It's not one country's problem. It's actually the whole region, right? So everyone has a collective interest to address these issues, and given that they're not impacting any one country and they're impacting the region as a whole, it's a fantastic platform for collaboration and collective action, which is part of the spirit of where BCG, WWF, Think City have been involved in setting up platforms such as the Southeast Asia Climate Adaptation and Resilience Alliance. The whole intention is to bring stakeholders together, multi-party, public, private, civil society, to find opportunities to advance resilience in the region collectively, right? That benefit all.
Banyak yang boleh dilakukan, tapi bagaimana pula dengan pembuat dasar dan juga satu kerangka polisi yang menyeluruh dalam konteks dan juga payung ASEAN? Walaupun tidak dapat menjawab dalam konteks kerajaan, tapi Dave ada pandangannya tersendiri, dan juga bagaimana kerajaan dan juga kerangka ASEAN dapat bergerak dalam suatu suara yang lebih menyeluruh dan juga padu, dan ini dapat dibawa dan juga diletakkan di arena antarabangsa seperti di COP29 ini.
I can't speak for the political arrangements, but what I would say is that platforms such as ASEAN are great avenues to engage, to find these intersections of common interest, and mobilize action, mobilize resources to where it's needed, and when it is in everyone's interest, similar to I draw the parallel in the mitigation agenda with the ASEAN Grid, where it's in everyone's interest to connect up and move green power across borders. Similarly, when there's collective interest to build resilience for our supply chains, for our food, water systems, there is great potential to have platforms such as ASEAN play a role, and it is great that Malaysia is also playing a role in being the a chairman for ASEAN for next year and advancing that agenda.
Dana iklim bukanlah satu bentuk kebajikan. Ini bukan CSR. Ini memerlukan satu kerangka baharu. Maksudnya perlukan inovasi. Itu yang diperjuangkan dan juga dilaungkan dalam bilik-bilik mesyuarat di COP29 ini. Begitu juga dalam aspek kita di rantau Asia Tenggara. Apakah bentuk inovasi untuk kewangan iklim di rantau Asia Tenggara? Dan bagaimanakah kita melihat perbezaan dan juga perspektif daripada mitigasi dan juga adaptasi? Ini jawapan Dave.
No, look, a lot of the financing engagement and discussion over the years has been focused on mitigation, on decarbonization. We're now starting to have a lot more focus on adaptation and building resilience. So I think we're still early in this space relative to where we are in mitigation. And we've certainly seen a lot of innovation and mechanisms such as bringing public and private money together in blended finance mechanisms and so on to help fund some of the projects that are needed in mitigation. We need something similar in adaptation as well, where we need to mobilize the private sector. And if you think about it this way, it is in the private sector's interest to build resilience. So if you have factories, you have supply chains, you rely on raw materials that are impacted by climate risk, it's your commercial interest that you need to protect, right? So if you're a private sector player, investing and mobilizing around building resilience for your own business, your own supply chains, and also collectively with others in your industry is an area where you would see the motivation to act, right? So I think there's good grounds for it, but we're still early to mobilize the financing, as you said.
Asia Tenggara, kalau dari segi ancaman iklimnya, ini adalah rantau yang begitu rapuh sekali dan banyak yang perlu dilakukan. Baru sahaja bermula dalam sektor dan juga aspek keuangan pembiayaan dana iklim. Tapi itu bermaksud banyak peluang yang dapat diraih.
And there's no one answer. I think we will need to be creative. We'll need to explore different avenues to do it. One example is where we get multiple benefits from doing one thing, right? So, for example, nature-based solutions. Let's say coastal protection for storm surges with mangrove and wetland restoration. They actually have multiple benefits. They have adaptation benefit. They have mitigation benefit because it stores carbon, and possibly in some areas you could even generate carbon credits that could help partially finance some of these projects. So many of these things are being explored. They certainly are not at scale, and we have some promising examples, but we'll still need to see a lot more in this space.
Dalam kita bercerita mengenai masalah dan juga cabaran yang dihadapi oleh negara-negara di rantau Asia Tenggara, mungkin kita terlepas pandang manfaat ataupun terlepas pandang peluang yang harus dimanfaatkan oleh pelbagai pemegang taruh di rantau Asia Tenggara. Ini pandangan Dave.
One of the lowest hanging fruits for Southeast Asia is the value of nature. So Southeast Asia is one of the unique regions in the world where you have such huge natural capital. One of three major regions in the world that has this natural capital, and the preserving, protecting biodiversity, enhancing our ecosystems, have so many benefits beyond mitigation and adaptation. It adds to the quality of our food systems, our water systems. So this will be, for me, the low-hanging fruit. It's not easy, but it's an area of advantage for the region.
Sekian sahaja perkongsian kami untuk Niaga Awani pagi ini. Kami bawakan dari persidangan perubahan iklim COP29 yang berlangsung di Stadium Baku ini. Berbaki beberapa hari sahaja lagi untuk dasar kerangka mekanisme keuangan iklim itu untuk ditamatkan sebelum COP29 berakhir pada 22 November ini. Kami akan bawakan lebih banyak perincian di seluruh platform kami, baik di astroawani.com dan juga di saluran 501. Kita kembali bersama rakan tugas di studio.